Top of the morning to you. I'm still feeling a little Irish, even though St. Patrick's Day was last week. So I thought I would continue my theme by making Irish scones. Oh, how I love my scones. This is a recipe I've been making for over 50 years. And I've got to tell you, it works every time. What I have in my food processor, 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I am going to go ahead here and I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of a fine salt. Now, I'm going to just process this long enough for these ingredients to come together. Okay, easy breezy. Now what I have here are 5 tablespoons of unsalted, seriously very cold butter. And I cut the butter into little tiny pieces. And the reason you want to do this cold is because you want to incorporate the butter into the flour mixture and keep the dough colder rather than break down the butter fat, because that would make for a tougher scone. So put this back on. And you can hear that butter in there bouncing around, but when the bouncing stops, and it did, and all the butter's incorporated, you can add in the rest of your ingredients. Now I have here about 2/3 cup of a full fat, important to note, full fat sour cream. Not the low fat, guys, sorry. Normally I say, you can substitute, but not today. And I have here a teaspoon of vanilla extract. One day I'll tell you about my vanilla extract because I make my own. Add this, and now you just have to be patient because this is going to come together and it's going to form a dough, ball of dough, if you will, inside the food processor. It just did exactly what I wanted it to do. It came together just perfectly. I removed the dough from the food processor and I kneaded in 1/2 cup of currants. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to cut this in half and hope that each half weighs roughly the same. So here I have about 10 ounces plus a little. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flour my surface just a little bit. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to form this now into a circle. And I'm going to roll each circle about 1/2 inch thick. And I'm going to continue to form my circle as I'm going around because I really need to make this a complete circle so that when I cut them, they're even. I want each circle to be cut in half, then in half again. And now as you can see, I'm getting 8 scones out of each circle, so each recipe will yield a total of 16 scones. Put them on a parchment-lined baking pan. Preheat the oven to 425 degrees, but before you pop them in the oven, super important, you've got to brush them with beaten egg and you've got to sprinkle them with more brown sugar. They're going to take 12 minutes in the oven. When they come out, they look just like that. And you want to serve them with some jam, and take them and put them on a plate. And you serve them warm with a nice cup of coffee, maybe even that Irish coffee I made last week, and you got yourself a terrific breakfast. Well, I'm Rania Harris, and I promise this is my last Irish recipe for the month. I love you, I miss you, and top of the morning.
top of the morning, Rania. We don't care. You can
keep
keep
them
doing
coming.
Irish, especially if they're delicious like those
I love
scones.
scones. It reminds me of like, it's so fancy, like you would have it with a high tea, like
Exactly.
scone.
I think that would be perfect. Yeah.
All right.
We should all go to Rania's house
should.
now.
For a copy of today's recipe, go to PittsburghTodayLive.com. We'll have it posted for you there.